Hey everybody, welcome to Go Lurk Yourself. My name is Crunky.
And I'm Snuffus.
Today we're going to talk to Snuffus about Sea of Thieves, fantasy football, and whatever the hell else we feel like talking about. How you doing on your fantasy football? By the way, we're talking about USA football, not whatever the hell it is where you're from. British, England, the UK, I don't know. Snuffus follows that shit, I don't.
Yeah, we're talking about the real football, not the kickball stuff where they kick it around for 3 hours and somebody might score one goal maybe.
Yeah, we got a tie here at the end. The hell is that all about, ties?
Oh, it's awful. It's just what's the point of playing if you're gonna tie?
I say that, but the NFL's had 5 ties already this year.
They've had a lot this year. Really odd.
I'll give my Colts credit. They had the chance to play for the tie, and they said, "Nah, we'll just let the other team win."
That's a bold strategy there, Cotton.
Yeah, against a divisional opponent. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, if you're gonna play for the tie or play for the win, you go for the win. You know the old adage: if you don't play to lose, you're gonna lose. You gotta play to win.
Right. If you don't play to win, you're gonna lose.
Yep.
Not tie.
Yep.
I don't know. I was kind of despondent a bit when the Colts went for the tie or went for the win and lost. But then the more I thought about it, the more I was okay with it,
Yeah, I'd be more okay with it than I would just accepting a tie. I'd rather my team have some, testicular fortitude and actually go for the win rather than, just saying, screw it, we'll take the tie and we'll move on and, we'll all be friends tomorrow.
Right. Of course, in the end of the year, in February, when it's all on the line, we're not even going to make the playoffs because of this one play.
Yeah, when it comes down to that one play, you're like, oh, damn it, we should have taken that tie.
Yeah, if only we would have went for the tie, we could have been in the contention here.
That tie would have really came in handy right now.
We'd have been in wild card contention, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, well, because you didn't tie, you're not going to let the Browns into the playoffs, so...
That's right, fuck the Browns. If one thing we can learn from this is fuck the Browns.
Fuck the Browns. They won today, actually, I think.
I think I saw that just a minute ago.
Yeah, in overtime. That's like their third or fourth overtime game this year.
Well, they went from not winning a game in a year and a half to winning some close ones.
Yeah,
so, hey,
they got two. They got screwed out of last week's against Oakland. Shit, and I don't remember. There was 2 plays that should have gone the Browns' way. One in regulation, one in overtime. And they should have won it. And I don't remember what the 2 plays were, but they got screwed out of that win.
I mean, in the refs' credit, calling a play against the Browns is just it's like something they've always done.
It's second nature. Yeah, they're like foul on the Browns for something.
Yeah, they're not supposed to win. What the hell, guys?
This can't happen. They've assembled a good squad up there in Cleveland, man. They're not world beaters, but they'll be decent this year.
So speaking of perennial shit shows, we're here to talk about Sea of Thieves.
Ouch!
I couldn't pass up the awesome transition that presented itself.
It was beautiful, beautifully done.
So we've had, if you guys have been listening to the podcast a while, you know that Snuffus is our seasonal Sea of Thieves fan. He's the one who taught me into trying the open beta, and while I'm glad that I tried it, I've not actually played the current release. But apparently they figured, hey, it's been out for. How long's it been out? A year now?
Yeah, about a year.
About a year. Maybe we'll try put some content in the game. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a success. And he's been playing the new version. He and another streamer, a friend of ours named The Brozerker. He's twitch.tv/TheBrozerker, BROZERKER. You guys should check him out. They have been playing Sea of Thieves lately, and there's been a whole new expansion where they added a bunch of content in, and I thought, hey, Snuff, why don't you come out, tell us all about it? Even though I don't have any personal experience with it, I've been watching some people stream it. It looks like we might have a game now, a year into it, for $60. Maybe it's kind of worth it now. Tell us all about it, Snuff.
Well, I'll still be honest with you. I still don't think the game's worth $60. I paid $60 for it because I'm going to get $60 of enjoyment out of it. I probably already have.
Well, you're a self-proclaimed pirate fanatic.
Yeah,
you love that stuff.
Yeah, I'm a huge pirate fanatic, and getting on and sailing around, it's kind of calming. I think right now where it sits is about a $30 value for the masses. I would say between $30 and $40. I think is pretty fair.
So the good news is here for you viewers or listeners. A couple more years, it's gonna be worth $60.
Well, I'm telling you, if you want to play it, just make a fake Microsoft account and you get a 14-day free trial of the Game Pass, and you can test out the game. Yeah, I highly suggest that if you're thinking about it.
Yeah, like my feedback from a year ago and watch you guys play it is like there's some really good gameplay to it, but like the longevity of it is really suspect. But if the idea of pirates fascinates you, check it out.
Yeah,
check it out for 14 days, like Snuffus says, and if you enjoy it, buy the $60 version because eventually there will be enough content to justify it. But you might enjoy it until then.
And what I tell a lot of people, I heard this when it first came out, and it makes a lot of sense. It's an open world sandbox game with not a lot of toys.
Oh yeah.
So you just have it's your real meat and potato video game, with no frills, with no extra stuff added on it. And meat and potatoes are fine. Some people like meat and potatoes. I like meat and potatoes. But most people want stuff added on to it, a little bit extra, which this DLC did a phenomenal job at.
What all did they add, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, so this is the third big DLC they've done. The first two they added in minor tweaks here and there, just different NPCs and stuff, different little things you could do, and it was cool. It was neat, but it wasn't anything game changing.
Right.
This DLC they added in a completely new area, 8 or 9 new islands, a new outpost. They added in volcanoes in this new place. It heightens up kind of how hard it is to sail around everything. The volcanoes erupt and the lava rocks will hit you and they will hurt you and they will sink your ship.
Oh, wow.
That's happened to me many times. They've also added, if you're around the volcanoes when they're erupting, the water starts to boil. So if you're in the water, you get hurt. If you're near a volcano and a rock hits your ship and it puts a hole in it and you have to go downstairs to scoop out the water, that water's boiling, that water's going to hurt you.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's got a lot of mixed reviews from Sea of Thieves fans. A lot of people are saying it's a little too hard. A lot of people are saying it's perfect because you still have the old vanilla version of Sea of Thieves. You still have the rest of the entire map, and that is even easier to play through and do all your quests and missions in now because almost everybody is in this new section of the map.
So it's like the hard mode almost.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But solo, when you go in solo, it's very, very tough. I've put in, probably 10 to 16 hours in the new region of it and solo, and it's pretty tough. They've also added in rowboats, which are really, really handy. You can park or dock your boat safely enough away from the volcano, and you can take a rowboat into the island.
Just park it in the parking garage.
Yeah, just park it. You just take a valet ticket, and Captain Barnacles goes and puts it in the garage for you. But you can dock it somewhere far away from the volcano. Take your rowboat in. There's a less likely chance that you get blown to smithereens. They've added all new. I say all new quests, but it's the exact same quests that were in the game before, just a little different. Just with a it's called Ashen is the type of skin overlay that's on the new treasure chests and skeleton skulls. So they look cool. And they're worth more money because it's a little bit more of a dangerous going in there. And they've also added in new spices and gemstones and lava rocks and stuff that you can turn in to merchants to get a lot of money. They've also added in, I haven't seen it yet, I've been looking for it. It's called like a question box or something like that, or I forget what it's called, but it's a little box and it has red question marks all over it. And it's worth probably 15 to 20 times what a normal chest or box is worth. It's worth like 30,000 gold, which is a ton. And I think there's only been 5 or 6 confirmed found throughout the entire Sea of Thieves community.
That's not just you, that's everybody.
Right, yeah, that's everybody.
So it's pretty rare.
It's very rare.
I mean, there's got to be like 12 people playing it still, right?
Well, yeah. Well, the running joke is that they should change the name to Sea of Thief because But that's another thing that the DLC, Rare, when they came out with this game, they specifically made it to be an online multiplayer experience. That's what they wanted. They didn't want to make a single player game. They wanted to make an online multiplayer experience. And I'd say the first month, you got that experience. The servers were full. You could find a crew if you wanted a crew. If you were solo slooping, there were people on the servers, so it added a little bit more danger element to it. People could come on, steal your stuff, steal the stuff that you've been working for hours to accumulate on your ship. But after the first month, a lot of the server loads started to die out, and it took away that somebody might sail up and sink my ship and take all my treasure. It took away that little element.
You saw that in the players that were around. You didn't see as many PvP opportunities.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's some days, a month or two in, I could hop on. I could play for 8 hours, and I'd never see anybody else in the entire server. Which it's a catch-22. Sometimes I like to get on. I just want to grind out these missions to try to get to something I want to do. But then sometimes I want to get on and I want to do PvP, or I want there to actually be some type of element of danger or risk. It kind of
reminds me a bit of the welcome/unwelcome aspect of Dark Souls PvP.
Yeah,
I know you didn't play it a whole lot, but it had that aspect of like it's fun that the threat is always there, but really when it comes down to it, it's like I would rather you not take all the shit.
Yeah.
If it happens, it's part of the fun. But
yeah, absolutely.
The threat is more important than the actual interaction.
100%. 100%. And with this new DLC, I've seen almost every single server I pop on seems like it's fully populated. 16 players is the maximum server load.
Yeah.
And every single time I've never hopped on and played for at least 30 minutes and not seen at least 2 ships.
So the new DLC has brought people back to check it out.
Yeah. And and they've done a phenomenal job at it. I was racking my brain the other day. I'm trying to think of all the games that have had DLCs, like big expansive DLCs. And I know a bunch of Halo in the back in the day, Destiny 1. I haven't played Destiny 2's DLC, but I heard it's good. A lot of the COD.
Which one? The newest DLC I hear finally introduces.
The
first one was notoriously bad. But
yeah, the newest DLC I heard was really good in Destiny 2, but I haven't played that. Battlefield 4 was one of my favorite DLCs ever. A lot of the maps they added into it. That
brings up a good question. What's the first game you ever played that had DLC?
Oh, that DLC.
Downloadable content. I want to say one of the Halo games. This is the first one I can remember.
Halo 3 was the first one that I can remember that had DLC.
Isn't that crazy that we can't remember it? It's not been that long ago.
No, it's only been, maybe 8 years ago. I think Halo 2 had DLC, but Halo 3 was the first I remember having actual DLC, I think. And it was, back then it was free. It wasn't all this, we got 2 new skins and 3 new maps, pay us another $60.
So I'm looking right now on Wikipedia. The precursors to DLC, the earliest form of downloadable content were offerings of full games, such as Atari 2600's Game Line service, which allowed users to download full games using telephone line. On personal computers, 1997 Cave Dog offered their real-time strategy computer game Total Annihilation, free downloadable additional content as a new unit every month.
Cave Dog, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, if you've never heard of it, then that's definitely an obscure video game.
Hell, I was out of high school then. So,
speaking of obscure video games, I was listening to the Go Lurk Yourself last week, man. Every time I'm like, I know video games pretty well, and then I'll hop on and listen to you. I'm like, Jesus, he just knows everything in and out, like games that I've never even heard of, and the producer and who did the sound and the art, and I'm like, that's just amazing.
Well, if you were listening to last week's episode, some of that's like we actually. It's hard for you guys to listen to this to believe, but we actually do a bit of research upon doing an episode. So I didn't know a lot of that stuff. I was reading up on it before the episode.
Research is for nerds. You just make it up as you go.
Speaking of research, the Dreamcast was the first console to feature online support as a standard. DLC was available, though limited in size due to the narrow band connection to the size of the limitations of the Dreamcast memory card.
I do remember the Dreamcast being the first online system, but I don't remember any DLC with it. But, I didn't. My friend had it. I never had a Dreamcast.
So Dreamcast did have online DLC. Those online features were still considered breakthrough at the time, but the competing PlayStation 2 did not ship with built-in network adapter.
You had to get a second one. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
The PS2 and the Nintendo GameCube had a secondary network adapter you had to put on. Which, by the way, the Nintendo GameCube and the Nintendo Switch, the Switch and the Wii U and the Wii all have the same USB network adapter. Isn't that funny? They all have the same one.
That's odd. I mean, I suppose if it's just as efficient as anything that's out now, there's no reason to change it. I mean, that's kind of nice. They're not like Apple and change their connection thing every 2 years.
With the advent of the Xbox, Microsoft was the second company to implement downloadable content. Many original Xbox Live titles, including Splinter Cell 2, Splinter Cell 1, Halo 2, and Ninja Gaiden, offered varying amounts of extra content available for download through Xbox Live service. Most of this content, with the notable expectation of Microsoft published titles, was available for free. So the first DLC, much like a drug dealer, the first hit was free.
The first hit was free, yeah. Once we suck you in, they're going to have to pay for the rest. So yeah, Halo 2 was probably the first DLC I ever played then.
In 2005, with the induction of Xbox 360, Microsoft integrated downloadable content more fully into their console, devoting more of the entire selection of consoles user interface to the Xbox Live Marketplace. I'm still trying to find the first game to offer it. One of the most infamous examples of DLC on consoles was Horse Armor in the DLC package released on Xbox Live Marketplace in 2006 for Bethesda Software's Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. You could basically buy a Horse Armor DLC for some kind of money for a cosmetic.
I do not remember that. I played a bunch of Oblivion. I do not remember Horse Armor being on. I don't not remember that DLC.
I remember the Horse Armor memes. That's 2006 were memes a thing then? I don't know.
I don't know. I was still in high school.
Oh my god. Make a guy feel old, Steffes. I was on my third job of my career then.
I was in my third year of high school.
No, third senior year.
Yeah.
Sony adopted the same approach with their downloadable hub on the PlayStation Store with Gran Turismo HD. Sony planned an entirely bare-bones title with the idea of requiring a bulk of the content to be purchased separately via separate online microtransactions. The project was later canceled.
Oh, Jesus.
Nintendo has also featured a sparser amount of DLC called on the Wii Shop channel, the bulk of which was acquired by digital distribution of emulated Nintendo titles from previous generations. By the way, I have about 30 of those on my Nintendo Wii U. That's still hooked up to my downstairs TV, by the way. It's October 7th of 2018, and I still have my Wii U hooked up to my main TV because I'd love to play some of those games here and there. But anyway, talking about free DLC, we're talking about the one thing, the positive thing I'll say about Sea of Thieves, like for a joke, I'll shit on Sea of Thieves because it was pretty bare bones when it launched.
Absolutely,
but one of the things they've said, and I fully support this endeavor, they're going to put out a game and it's going to be $60, and everything they updates has been free.
Yep.
And here we are a year into it, and I'm giving them credit for sticking to those guns. I honestly thought a year into it we'd see a Sea of Thieves 2 or a Sea of Thieves downloadable pack for $50 or $30 or whatever they could feel like they could get away with. And they have really done a good job of saying that, no, if you bought the $60 expansion, these are all free.
Yeah. And so far, everything they've added has been free. They have a roadmap that they gave, and they said this whole roadmap, everything's going to be free. And apparently a new roadmap is supposed to come out. They have said all the DLC. In the beginning they said all the DLC was going to be free. So I'm kind of waiting for this next roadmap to come out. I'm really interested to see if they're like, hey, we said at the beginning this next roadmap, all these DLCs, they're going to fall in line with your original purchase price, or if they come out and they're like, well, the free DLC was just the first roadmap. The second roadmap we're going to charge.
Has there been a clear dividing line between those two that you've seen?
Not yet. No. I know they did announce that there will be another DLC in February, I believe. But I don't remember the name of it, and they haven't really been, they haven't given a lot of details on it because obviously Forsaken Shores is taking up most of their time.
See if these roadmap number 2 give us money.
Yeah, give us money. We know you spent $60 originally. We're going to need another $60 for the rest of the content.
So here we are, a year later into it. And I know you said already that you don't think it's been worth $60 yet, but how close to that $60 mark have they got for someone who, and admittedly, you've said in past podcasts and today that you are a sucker for pirates. You're the guy they were selling this game to, right?
Yep.
How close to that $6 mark have they hit it a year in?
I think they're about $20 away. I think they're $40. I think is about where they're at. In this game, I have a lot of fun solo slooping. Just sailing around, being by myself. A lot of times I'll just dick around and not even do the missions.
And that's funny because in direct contrast to the things that I loved about this game when you and I played the beta, hell, has that been a year ago already?
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah.
We played it seems like a couple of weeks ago, but it's been a month. It's been a year.
It's been almost a year, yeah.
And I liked playing with you and some friends of ours. We had a good time goofing off, having fun, but the game itself wasn't enough to draw me in. It made me drop. To be honest, I don't know if I'd have dropped $30 for it at the time that it was the decision-making time.
Yep.
I would easily drop $30 for it now just to play with you again. I honestly expected by this time for them to have I think it'll happen. I think it'll happen next month. Next month or the month after, there's going to be a Sea of Thieves. Hey, get in for $20 or $30 right now. And
I hope so.
And get everybody caught up. I think, and that's when I'm going to dive in.
Yeah.
And then you and I are going to we're going to play the shit out of this game.
It's even more fun with friends.
Yeah. I see that.
Yeah. I mean, I get on with Berserker and a couple of his buddies, and we'll sail around, and sometimes we'll do missions, sometimes we'll just dick around. But yeah, if you got a good solid core of people that'll play this with you on a regular basis, it just takes the game to a whole other level. And that's what Rare was going for originally. Was like I said, they wanted an online co-op game. They didn't want to make a single player game.
And I've been the first one to say in just last week's episode, I was like, we were talking about Dragon Quest 11, and I've not played a Dragon Quest game since the 80s, and this was the first game I played since the 80s. That I was like, I am so glad I paid a full price for this game. I think I bought it for $60, 55 or $60. And while it's a single player game that I don't play with my friends, I would happily pay $60 for a full-fledged game. And even today, I don't feel like Sea of Thieves is that game yet.
Yeah.
It's worth $40, like you said.
Yeah.
I fully agree that to play with my friends, I want to support game developers, Rare or, whoever makes Dragon Quest. I still don't know. Square Enix. I fully support paying a company the full price for a game. That's exactly what I want.
Yeah.
Like, what I hate doing is paying for a game and feeling like, oh my God, I got suckered out of it. Because the advertising was such. The
Star Wars Battlefront.
I mean, I don't want to call out any shitty development houses by name, EA Sports.com. Like, you and I have had a good time playing Madden here and there. But,
oh, yeah.
But think about it. I got the downloadable 10-hour DLC, the 10-hour preview of Madden 2018. And you and I have had a good time. We played as much as we've wanted. I've not hit the 10 hours yet.
Neither have I.
That's ridiculous.
I got it for that. I did like the $15 1 month thing. Right. We played a bunch then, and then now I'm just like, yeah, I played it, and I might go back and do a 15 for another month. But it's not something like there's no way. And I know people do it, and I know people look at me and Sea of Thieves and say, why the hell did you pay $60? But these sports games, I just couldn't pay $60 for. I just can't sink my teeth into a game long enough like that to get my $60 out of it.
Oh, and to be clear, I'm not shitting on you for dropping $60 on Sea of Thieves at all. I totally get it. I dropped $60 on a game that's not even in beta yet. It's called Camelot Unchained. It's because early, 18 years ago, Dee and I played a game called Dark Age of Camelot, and the original group that made that game has a game that's it's so bad. they have these alpha events,
Uh-huh.
and like I logged into 2 of them, and I'm like, this is so lame. I can't even bring myself to do it.
That sucks.
Hopefully there'll be a somewhat of a game, but one of my biggest beefs with this is before WoW came out, so this is to really date myself. Before World of Warcraft was a game that was released and everyone could play in 2004? Was that when that came out?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, 1,000 years ago.
Long time ago, yeah. It came out when I was in middle school, I think.
Yeah, so like 2016 at least. D and I used to play this game called Dark Age of Camelot. It was an MMO, and it was after EverQuest kind of came along in the late 90s, early 2000s. It was a more PvP focused MMO, and I bought it thinking, oh, I'll love this. And D happened to be reading the Lord of the Rings trilogy at the time.
Nice.
She's like, ooh, elves and fantasy and
falls in line right with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we started playing it. I built her. We started fighting over having a gaming PC. We had one gaming PC in the house, and we were fighting over it. So I built her a gaming PC. We started playing together. And we realized that, hey, we're both nerds. We're married. We love MMOs. We love gaming. We started playing that together, and we played it for probably like 2 years, like heroin addict level gaming. We were like obsessed to the point of like we were setting alarm clocks to do raids at 4:00 in the morning on a weekend. That's crazy. We'd get up at 4 a.m. on a Saturday and go, we're gonna just game all day.
All day.
And then we were like, who's going to run to Subway and get dinner? Because it's like 9 o'clock now. And we need to eat something for today.
Break out the Mountain Dew and energy drinks. We're going to be here all day.
Exactly. We were diehards.
Yeah.
And so like I get that hardcore gaming concept, but one of the things that it led to me is like when you think of Sea of Thieves, it's like I kind of see through the game mechanics, and I look for like, okay, what's the long-term thing? Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that Sea of Thieves has never really sold me on is like their in-game plan.
Right. And what it is it's the pirate legend. And once you get the pirate legend, you get access to a new tavern, and you get access to completely new quests called the Athena quests. And they're a lot harder, but they're worth a ton of gold. But once you get there, there's not a lot after that. And the way Rare has kind of developed this game is they make the path to get to the pirate legend an insane grind.
Right.
And some people, I enjoy it. I enjoy going out there and digging for treasure and all this, but I can see how people would say this is ridiculous. Like they just put this hard grind in the game just to mask the fact that it didn't have any content after it. And I completely understand that.
Full transparency for the people who are listening. You're at the Athena, the pirate expert quest. Are you on those now?
No, I'm not. Nope.
How far away are you?
I'm about 10 levels on one and 15 levels on another. And that
so you
will
have two
take
characters that are two different characters.
Well, you have 3 different guilds. Okay. And you have to get to level 50 in all 3 of those. And once you get to level 50, then you're a pirate legend. And you're the higher skull you turn in, the more your experience go up, or the higher chest you turn in, or something. Okay. Yeah. So, and it takes once you get up to like 20, 25, level 30, it gets kind of grindy, and only people that are just doing it really to get the pirate legend thing will get to the level 50. But
the try hard, so to speak.
Yeah. But you don't by any means have to get to pirate legend, to enjoy the DLC and a lot of the stuff that you can do in the game, and just playing around with your friends. It's just one of those things that people that obsess over the game kind of grind towards.
So just like for the people listening at home, since the expansions come out, when did it come out? A couple weeks ago?
It came out last Thursday, I believe. So I think the 27th is when it came out.
10 or 11 days ago.
Yeah.
How many hours do you think you put in since then?
I have probably played on average. I would say Monday through Friday, I average probably about 4 to 6 hours a day.
Okay.
And then the weekends, I don't have a lot of free time on the weekends, so maybe 10 to 12 hours combined for all the weekend days.
Yeah. So you, like when it comes to the average player, like a reasonable adult with wife, kids, family, job, you put in a good amount of time. I'd say more than you normally do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and you found it pretty reasonable on the scale of content.
Yeah. The Devil's Roar stuff is cool. I mean, the adversity they added into this, I love it. So, there is tweaks that need to be made with it. But the concept is fantastic. It adds thrill to the game. You hear the volcano start rumbling, and you're like, oh shit, I gotta get a plan. I gotta get off this island or move my ship or do something.
It's funny that sometimes it's the subtle stuff like that, the sound, the music, the visuals, but sometimes those things can like raise the level above like what you'd expected. And music. I was talking to on last week's episode of Cherry Cake about a game a game that we played called what is the name of that game? The Switch game with the bugs. Shoot, your main character's a bug. I'm gonna forget. I actually have it. I'm gonna look
Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight. That's it. Yeah. That's exactly it. Hollow Knight is a game that it is more than the sum of its parts because of the sound development. The gameplay is great. The visuals are great, but the sound like pushes it over that edge. It's like the trifecta. And I think Sea of Thieves can be that kind of game too. Like the sounds, the visuals, the camaraderie of playing with friends. There's something to be said, and I think PUBG benefits a lot from this, is that because I played a lot of that with my friends, it carried itself longer than a solo game would. And I think that's what Sea of Thieves is really banking on. If you look at it, the online persistent multiplayer aspect of it has got to carry you. And you can, even with the alpha version or the beta version that I played, where you had a hurdy-gurdy or a loot or whatever, a couple different instruments they gave you, showed you that even then they knew that, hey, we have to give these guys something to heighten the experience of the game beyond the gameplay mechanics.
And they needed to add something into the game that encouraged you to play with other players as well.
Exactly. There's a game that I played a lot online on stream on PS4 and on PC called Monster Hunter. And it's a game that's it's more than the sum of its parts. And I think Sea of Thieves, especially after they've like refocused their development, I don't. It's no secret that I believe they rushed the release of that game.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I think if they had released the game as it is today, if they had released it now, it would be a much more well-received thing. They kind of hurt themselves for some perception of the aggressive or more hardcore gaming people to be like, oh, this game's not ready for prime time. But here a year later, I think it might be there. I think it might be ready for people to dive in and give it a shot.
And if they come out with the second roadmap, when they come out with it, if they come out and say, we guarantee all this on this roadmap completely free, all this DLC completely free, I will put it in stone. This game is worth $60 now. Because one of the things about this game that I love so much, the dev team, the people that are doing all the updates, the entire team at Rare that's working on this, you could not have asked for a better team to work on this. I mean, they're on the forums every single day. They're on Reddit every single day. They have once or twice a week. They have live streams where they go in and play it for hours and hours. And they listen to the community, and they respond, and they fix stuff, and they're on all the time playing. You can see them, and they're going through some of the same stuff we're going through, stuff we like, stuff we dislike. The dev team that works on this has been phenomenal. And I think that's one of the biggest wins for Rare is a lot of the Sea of Thieves fans see this and see who's working on it, see how they're working on it, and the effort they're putting into it, and that's going to carry over, 10, 15 years down the road. If these people are still there when they come out with new games and stuff, you'll have a lot of faith in the people that are putting out the games.
I agree, because I was like a year ago when we had the first Sea of Thieves episode on here. I think you were on here for that one. I was pretty hard on them. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was disappointed more than anything. Like, I played the open beta going, oh, this is a really cool idea. And then like 10 minutes into it going, wait, this is literally it.
Yeah.
And like, if they've built onto that and they are really holding true, like you said, to like, okay, when 2019 rolls around, everything is still going to be the free $60. I still have issue with the fact that they released it in 2017 the way that they did, but I gotta give them credit for continuing to see it through and making it whole. What's the other spacefaring game that kind of
No Man's Sky?
No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
They had a bare bones game that released to critical disappointment, and a year and a half later they like really made good on their promises. And while like the consumer in me is like not satisfied that that's an okay thing to do,
Yeah.
release a game a year and a half early before it's really ready, I'm not ready to say that's okay, but I commend them for sticking to it without like it would be easy. I think Sea of Thieves could legitimately like in January come out with an expansion pass for $20.
Yeah.
And people, by and large, the people that are still playing it would do it. And somebody at Rare or at Microsoft is going, okay, if we release a $20 e-pass or expansion, are we going to make more money on the people who are hooked to the game already? Or if we release it for a free DLC, are we going to get that much more new income at $60?
Yeah, that's a tough. And I can tell you right now, if they release something in January, I would pay $15 or $20 for it. I totally would, because I've already gotten my $60 out of the game. So I would be disappointed, but it wouldn't be something for me to say, oh, screw this. I'm not buying it. I'm not playing it. There's no way. But yeah, weighing the options of, hey, if we release this $15 or $20 DLC, are we going to make more money? And don't kid yourself. It all comes down to making money. They don't do this.
Right.
They don't get into this business not to make money. You have to weigh that on. Are we going to get more money by people purchasing this game at $60 with all this DLC free, or are we going to make our money on people that already have the base game and they're going to buy this DLC for $15 or $20? I don't have that answer.
Right, and I think it comes down to like, someone at Microsoft or Sea of Thieves or Rare, whoever it is, they're going to look at the numbers. They're going to say, okay, if we have X number of people who are buying the game and playing it religiously, and we know 70% of them are going to buy the DLC at $30, is that more than what we realistically think newcomers are going to come at $60 for?
Yeah.
And or at 40 or at 50 or whatever they decide to discount it to.
Yep.
Someone who makes more money than the both of us combined is
Yeah.
going to decide that. But I give them right now where we are in October of 2018. I give them commitment to stick it true a year in and saying, okay, we are not charging anything for DLC to this point, and everyone who's bought the game gets all this free content. But my big question, as I consider like right now, should I buy this game? Is it still worth $60 today? I don't know. Like I can't. I know you've enjoyed it and you've got your $60 out of it, but like me as a guy who's gamed and like I don't really care about pirates all that much. Is there enough? I think it comes down to what you said. If I had three other friends who were playing it nonstop and were like, "Hey, come join us," I had nothing else to do. Great, but I have 5 games I've not finished. So.
Right. There's a ton of great games coming out too. I mean, The Last of Us 2 is coming out. Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming out.
Oh man.
There's a bunch. This is the game time of the year. So,
here's where I'm going to say that 2018, I finally played the Last of Us Part 1, and our friend the General Chaos Live
loves that game
on stream, and like watching him play it gave me the not confidence, but like the motivation, I think, to play it.
Yeah.
And I played it I played the HD re-release. My wife and daughter went to Florida over the summer for a week. And while they were gone, I had literally to take care of my animals and nothing else to do. I played it every night. In like 3 nights, I finished it. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, okay, when I tried to play it the first time on PS3, I had, the wife and daughter were here every night. And I had interruptions, so I didn't finish it. But I'm totally sold on Red Dead Redemption 2, Last of Us Part 2, and like whatever else new experience comes down the pipeline, like that.
See, those games, I watched Chaos play that, and I watched them play that Detroit Become Human game.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I don't know why, they just do not interest me at all. Like,
yeah, I get it.
I'm just not a huge fan of like these story games.
Well, I've long said that the worst thing you can do with a video game is to make an interactive movie.
Yeah.
If I wanted to watch a movie, I'll just put a movie on.
Yeah.
If I want to play a video game, I'll put a video game in. And like, there's a fine line between a really interactive movie that's got some video game elements. It's just a good movie interrupted.
Mm-hmm.
A really good video game that has too many cutscenes is just a good video game interrupted. So finding that mix is
it's real hard. There's not a ton of games that do it well.
No, there's not. I would say Last of Us really, I would say after playing it through with uninterrupted and on the HD release where you didn't take 8 minutes to load a level, I'm not kidding, the PS3 load times were atrocious. I loved that game. I thought it was great. I played it from start to finish in like 3 nights and really enjoyed it. And I'll definitely get Last of Us 2 as a result. I'm thinking of Red Dead Redemption 2. I never finished Red Dead Redemption 1 for the same reasons I didn't finish Last of Us Part 1 on PS3 because interruptions would stop me and I wouldn't be able to finish it.
Right.
But I know you've got kids like me. You've got
more kids than me. Yeah, 3 of them.
Yeah, you can't get 5 hours of uninterrupted game time. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, no way. Absolutely not. Yeah.
No, but if your kids are out of town for a week, you'd be surprised how much gaming time you get. and like, there's something to be said about, and this is for everyone listening to the podcast. As you get older, it gets harder and harder to invest yourself in a game. So if you're 20, if you're 17, and you're super invested in a game, just play the absolute shit out of it right now.
Agreed.
Don't look back because you're never going to get these times again, more than likely, if you're a forever alone type thing. Congratulations. The one thing you'll have is video games.
That's like I've never played a video game more than I had. I think FIFA 07 and Halo 3 when it came out. Because I didn't have anything else to do. Just sat around, played video games all the time.
So if you don't mind getting too personal here, stuff. How old were you when your first was born?
Let's see. He's 6. How old am I? I was 23.
Okay, so you had some adult years.
Yeah. I'd already been married once too.
Right, you'd already been married one time.
Yep.
And so you've been married twice, right?
Yeah. That's my second one.
You got married, and how long were you married the first time?
8 months.
We're getting deep dive.
Yeah, this stuff is personal files.
But you were in your early 20s.
I was 19.
Okay, so 8 months then was a long damn time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you had a whole lifetime of being married, and then you got divorced.
Yep.
How long between your divorce and your second marriage?
Let's see, 19, about 5 years.
Okay, so you had a whole long time to be single. How many? And think about your video game time during that stretch. What do you remember? Any games you played during that stretch?
Oh man,
what were your big single player games?
I'm trying to think. What was
While
that?
You're thinking about it, let me tell everyone about. I was married, but I wasn't married. I was living with my soon-to-be wife, but we were. My wife, the Sunny D, her mother passed when she was like late teens. But before we got married, she was, all of a sudden without a home and living with her sister and like not going crazy about it. She's like, my sister's great, but I would rather not live with her. Mm-hmm. Can we get an apartment together? Not a hotel, an apartment together. So I was like, okay, fine. Before we got married for like 2 years, we lived together. And during that time, Ocarina of Time for the N64 came out, and I played it while she was there watching, and we had together we enjoyed gaming together. I always joked she's my co-pilot because she would I'm playing, I'm focused on the enemies. She was like, no, go this way, stupid. and would guide me around. And we had just the best time gaming. And then we got married, that was 97. We got married in 99. So it wasn't, or no, it's 98, I think, when Ocarina came out. It wasn't too long after that we got married. And then we've been gaming together ever since. But there was a time when, like, before we had kids, before we were married, before the realities of the world set in, we had time to, like, really divest ourselves into video games.
Yep.
But she would play one, I would play one, and we played. We still to this day sometimes we'll be like, do you want to stream? Do I want to stream? No. Let's just sit and play games off stream, and like we used to. We were playing both of us are playing Dragon's Quest 11 right now.
Yep.
And we're using the Steam Link to stream on on a TV in our spare bedroom, and we'll just sit there and like on a couch together by ourselves, watch Dragon Quest and game like the old days, and it's amazing. But so you had like 5 years between your first and second marriage?
Yeah. Yep.
How many can you remember any solo games you played between?
Fable 3 was one of the ones I remember really getting into, and I don't think it was released in that time, but it was one of the free games on the Xbox Live Gold Pass thingy.
It's when you played it.
Yeah, and it was. I'm sorry, Go Ball. Holy crap! I gotta interrupt this. We just hit a grand slam. The Braves did. Thank God. Oh God. Oh.
Okay, for those of you guys who don't follow American baseball, Snuffus is a baseball fan.
Yes.
He lives in Atlanta, and he's a huge Braves fan. So what's the score?
5-0 now in the set. This is an elimination game. If we lose tonight, we're out of the playoffs. And Acuna Jr. just hit a grand slam. 5-0, bottom of the second.
5-0, bottom second. Okay, so what's the record of the series?
2-0 Dodgers. So
okay,
yeah.
so you're back in it.
Yep.
Okay.
But back to video games.
Yeah.
Fable 3. I got really into Fable 3, and I don't think it was released then. I think it was just one of those free games you got through Xbox Live Gold.
Right.
And I'd go through and I'd play different playthroughs, and I'd build my character different ways, and I'd get different updates, and I'd go around and just do a lot of the side missions and do a lot of the goofy stuff. I really got into Fable 3, and I got into Halo 4. That's wasn't really they had a single player mode, but I didn't play it a ton. But yeah, Fable 3 and Halo 4, in between, those marriages, I was huge into. I sunk a lot of hours into them.
Okay, just so we feel nice and old here for those of us who are older than Snuffus, Fable 3 came out in 2010. I can remember, it doesn't seem like that long ago. D got Fable 3, was like, it's not quite as good as Fable 2. And it seems like legit, it seems like 3 years ago, and it was 8 years ago.
And in that time, I specifically remember this, in that time I went through 3 different Xbox 360s. Because I kept getting the Red Ring of Death, and I was like, well, I can't not play Fable 3 or Halo 4 tonight. I'm just going to go buy another one, I guess. And, being single with no kids and having a decent job, you thought you had, hundreds of thousands of dollars to just throw away.
So, Fable 3 with voice acting including Sir Ben Kingsley, who was in Iron Man 3, Stephen Fry, who was an English comedian actor. If you guys don't know him, with famous with Hugh and Laurie on
An Evening with Hugh and Laurie. Man, that's such a great show. Simon Pegg was a voice actor in that game. No way.
I know. He played. Let's see. I don't know who he played. I mean, he played Ben Finn in that game. Michael Fassbender was a voice actor in that game.
Holy shit! I didn't realize there were that many popular people that were voice actors in that game.
Right, Naomi Harris, who's an English actress, started her career as a child actress, appearing in Simon and the Witch in 1987. She also portrayed Voodoo in Tia Dalma, the second and third Pirates of the Caribbean films.
Oh, yeah, okay. I remember her. Yeah. She's like the gypsy that was up the river. Okay, yeah.
A lot of British actors and actresses in this game.
There were some really popular voice actors. I did not know that.
Yeah, Jonathan Ross, who was on BBC One with Friday Night with Jonathan Ross during the 2000s.
Yeah, that guy.
Ross also hosted his own radio show on BBC Radio 2, which apparently is a thing. I don't know. I'm not from England.
How many BBCs do they have?
They had, let's see, voice acting. Also had John Cleese in there.
I do remember John Cleese was like your advisor or something, or like your conscience or something. I do remember John Cleese, yeah. Yeah, he was like, what was he? He was in the game really prominently. He was like your butler or your conscience or like kind of your guide or something. I do remember that voice.
Wow. So I don't know my British actors as well as maybe people from England might, but for those of you guys who are in America, there's a lot of like pretty famous now people who voice acted in Fable 3.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. That's really neat.
Yeah. So that was the last game that you remember like really getting into?
Yeah, like big time, like hardcore. Now another one that I did get into, this was post marriage, was Civ 5.
Okay.
I got stupidly addicted to that one.
Like 20 hours a week?
Oh man, I have over 2,000 hours in it, I think.
Whoa, that's more hours than I have in PUBG.
Yeah. I have over 2,000. I have 2,219 hours in it.
Although, if I was really being honest, I bet I have more than 2,000 in a year in WoW back in my prime time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Too bad you can't pull up the statistics on some of those old video games.
I mean, I probably could, but I'd have to like reactivate my subscription to check it out. I'm not doing that because sort of like a crack addict who's not going to get a little taste again. I can't.
I'm just going to go back and check my stats. I'm just going to go back and check my stats. Don't worry about it.
That's all I'm doing, honey. I swear. Like Dee and I have like a rule that we're like, we never log into WoW again.
that was in the marriage prenup.
Well, no, WoW wasn't a thing when we got married, but we played another game just as bad and switched over to WoW when it came out. And after we had our kid, we're like, yeah, we can't do that anymore. It's not feasible.
Molly, fix your own damn breakfast.
Yeah, it's like, I already fed you this week. Go in the kitchen and cook your own food. It was a couple of months ago. I was laughing. Maybe I may have said this on stream before, but never on the podcast. One day I was playing PUBG and Dee was at work or out with her sister or something like that. And Molly's like, "Dad, can you help me cook?" I'm like, "You're 10. You can read directions and cook your own." She wanted noodles, like ramen noodles. She like I don't want anyone listening to this to get the wrong idea. I all the time make really high quality, nutritious meals for my daughter, okay? But one day on a Saturday, she's like, "Dad, I want to eat these ramen noodles."
Once in a blue moon, she found them in the back of the pantry. They've been there for years.
Right. She goes, "I want to make ramen noodles." I go, "Okay, go ahead." This is a couple of months ago. She's 11, right? She's like reading. She's thinking for herself. She's doing stuff. She's in band. She's telling me, "No, Dad, you don't know what you're talking about on stuff." She's like wanting to be her own person.
Independent.
So, yeah. How old's your oldest right now? Like 7, 8, 10?
6,
okay, so
yeah.
You're not there yet. Soon enough, your kid's gonna look at you and go, "You know what? Fuck you. I know what I'm doing." And you're like, "No, you don't." But you gotta like give them. That. You gotta give them like you gotta give them the wings to fail on their own.
Just go for it, buddy.
Right? Yeah. You know what? You're right. You know, maybe you're right. Show me that I'm wrong, kid. So I go, "Okay, honey, go." She's like, "I'm gonna make ramen noodles." I said, "Go for it, honey. Go do it." So she comes up here, and I don't know who I was you or Cherry or Chaos or Bunny Ball or somebody. I was playing on stream with people, and she kept like, "Dad, what do I do here?" I go, "Just put the noodles." She's like, "I can't cook these noodles in the bag, Dad." I go, "Well, put them in a bowl." So she goes, "Okay." And she comes upstairs like 20 minutes later. She goes, "Dad, there's a fire in the microwave."
Oh, Jesus!
And I go, "What?" So what she had done is she had busted the noodles out of the bag and put them in a bowl and just put the bowl of noodles in the microwave without any water. And they just like spontaneously combusted in a fire. And I'm like, "Oh no." And of course, everyone on my stream's like, "You're a terrible father. You should not have kids." And I'm like, "You guys don't," all these people that are watching my stream are like, 20-year-olds or less. They don't know what having kids is like. I'm like, "No, sometimes you just got to let them fall on their face."
Absolutely. Yeah. I remember doing that when I was a little kid. My mom let me make grilled cheese. And so I got the cheese, I got the bread, and I stuck it right in the toaster, buddy, and stuck it down and melted cheese in a fire later. I learned that's not how you make grilled cheese.
So I go down there and I'm like, "No, honey, you got to put the noodles in water." And she's like, "Well, I put a little bit of water in there, but I didn't want to fill the bowl up, So the noodles that were like outside of the water on fire. It was great.
The flame broiled ramen noodles.
Exactly. Our whole house smelled like burnt ramen noodles for like a week.
Oh, gross.
Dee comes home from wherever she was. She's like, "What happened?" I go, "We just had some learning experiences there. That's all."
Taught her something.
But speaking of learning experience, I think the people at Rare have learned a thing about Sea of Thieves.
I see what you did there.
See, that's another pro transition.
Pro transition, I'll tell you. Yeah, I think they've done a good job at kind of delivering what they originally promised. It's a good game now. It's fun. I don't think it's worth $60 for everybody, but I really think it should be on everybody's radar for a sale or for the next roadmap. If they announce it's going to be free DLC, I would for sure say check it out.
Yeah, I'm fully expecting in the next 30 days for there to be a Sea of Thieves holiday bundle that's going to be like the new roadmap they're promising, maybe some cosmetic stuff bundled in for 30, 40, 60 bucks. If they promise the next expansion with some like last minute click here cosmetic stuff,
yeah,
I'll probably pull the trigger on it because they've demonstrated at least within 12 months that they fully intend on supporting it for the long term.
Yeah. And they've added enough, over the past year where, I feel okay putting my confidence in them and, kind of saying, hey, we kind of trust this company to do what they say they're going to do because they have the past 12 months.
So how long has it been that you and Chaos have been talking about doing a stream?
It's been
4 months.
4 or 6 months. I remind him at least twice a week. I'm like, yo, when are you gonna download Sea of Thieves? And he's like, oh yeah, absolutely. We're definitely gonna play Sea of Thieves.
That's totally gonna happen one day soon.
Yeah, and I don't blame. I know he's trying to make what is it? Is it Partner?
Yeah, I think he's really pushing for Partner.
Yeah, and so he's got to play what he needs to play to get his. I know he doesn't. Everybody says they don't care about their viewers, but I know he's trying to make Partner and trying to eventually turn this into a career. So I let him play whatever he wants to play.
I hope you see that I really do not give a shit about hitting Partner ever.
Oh yeah, that makes two of us.
I love Twitch. It's fun. It's fun to make friends.
Yeah.
It's a good time. But if I had never break Partner, I'm completely fine with it.
I love me too.
Just horse around
well,
a little bit.
Half the people I play video games with now would have never met if I hadn't have gotten on Twitch. So
right, and the people who are really hard about partnership, you see it after like the third time you play with them. You're like, okay, they're looking at something else.
Right.
Making friends.
And that's what I said. If I know what he's doing, and I'm all for it, man. I want him. He deserves it to get there.
Yeah.
So if whenever he wants to play Sea of Thieves, I'm down. If he doesn't, you play what you want to play, man.
I think you will. Like when the new expansion comes out and it's like in the news, that's when I think he'll hop on.
Yeah. I gotta get him before The Last of Us 2 comes out because
exactly
once that comes out.
If you're listening right now, prove us wrong, buddy. Prove us wrong. All right, Stuffus, where can people get a hold of you on Twitter right now?
They can go on Twitter. It's Bryce BRYCE capital S 89.
I think you're on Twitter, or you're on Twitch too, right?
Yep, Twitch Snuffus SNUFFAS 89. Nice. I usually do about once a week right now, in about a month or about 3 weeks. That'll change back to my 2, 3, 4 times a week normal streaming schedule.
In 4 or 5 years, he'll be ready to commit to a full-time schedule.
I'll be right there.
I'm getting sued by someone I was in a car accident with a year and a half ago right now.
Oh, just Jesus.
A little bit behind the scenes on what Crunky's life is like. I had a lawyer ask me yesterday, what does January or February 2020 look like for you? I'm like, bitch, I don't plan that far in advance.
2020?
Yeah. I'm like, you tell me what day I'll be available. I'll put it on my calendar now.
You should have told him it looks like perfect eyesight.
Exactly. 2020, I wish I had 2020 vision. Yeah. Jesus Christ. But
what are you going to do in 2020? I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow morning.
I hope to be alive by then. But I am at Crunky, 2 N's, KRUNNKY _ Twitch on Twitter. And I'm also at Crunky, I'm at twitch.tv/Crunky with 2 N's. Follow me there. And also, be sure to tell 2 friends about the Go Look Yourself podcast. If you're listening to this every week and you haven't told 2 friends about us right now, I am personally disappointed.
Yeah, you're dead to us.
Yeah, like, I don't mean to be, like, mean about this, but, like, if you haven't told 2 people that you know in real life that, hey, do you like video games? Do you like condescending assholes talk about console gaming? You need to listen to these guys. We've got Cherry Cake TV, myself, my wife, the Sunny D. We've got Snuffus on here. We've got B-Shift. We've got some regulars who hear all the time, every week, providing you quality content. And if you're listening to it every week, you owe it to me. And I want you to tweet at me and tell me you told 2 friends this week. I want you to tweet at Snuffus at Bryce, what is it?
Bryce S89.
S89, yep. Because he was born in 1889. And I want you guys to tweet at both of us and let us know you were listening this week and you told 2 friends about us. And even if they don't download the podcast, you just told them. That's all we want to hear is you told them.
And when you tell your 2 friends, we're going to need their first, last name, their mother's maiden name, and their social security number so we can just keep track.
And their firstborn.
Yes.
That's all we want.
That's it.
We don't want much.
Yeah, not a ton. I think it's pretty reasonable to ask.
I mean, that's what I would do if I was a fan of a podcast. I'm just saying. All right, Snuffus, thank you for being here, buddy.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it.
Yep, anytime, man.
And we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.